Welcome to the 32nd episode of the Most Serious Podcast. In today's episode, I talk to Professor Kumail Kirmani, who is a marketing professor at St. Joseph's College of Business Administration in Bangalore. He's also a guest lecturer and a visiting faculty at many different academic institutions. He also gives talks on startups, marketing, branding at different events. He has his own YouTube channel and his social medias where he creates content on these topics. Professor Kumail has a very interesting life story. How he went from being not so good at academics to being a professor and to also teaching kids, teaching children, teaching students about marketing, startups. He was recently recognized by NDTV as Icons of Bharat, an award for people trying out different entrepreneurship ideas. In this episode, we talk about his personal journey. We talk about the value of an MBA. We talk about the value of formal education moving forward. How is the world going to change? How is specifically the education sector going to be impacted with the rise of so much technology, and a lot of fun, a lot of information, a lot of life related knowledge in this episode. I had a great time filming this. I hope you like the conversation today. Let's get into the episode now. Professor Kumail Kirmani is on the Most Serious Podcast. Welcome, Professor. How are you doing?
Hi, Ripudaman. I'm doing great. Absolutely nothing serious about this podcast, but yes, we're all here to share our experiences, and I hope you, me, as well as the ones who are going to watch this, hear us, are going to enjoy.
They sure are. And when I tell them about the journey you've had from a student to a professor, they sure are going to enjoy this. And I think we should start right there. Why don't you tell them about your 12th grade and the journey afterwards?
You know what? Of course, I openly tell this that I failed in my 12th standard. But back when I was in my 12th standard, when I failed, it was a matter of shame. It was a matter of looked down upon. It's a matter of running away from the house. It's a matter of कि मेरी life बर्बाद हो चुकी है types. But having said that, the journey about failures is a stepping stone to success करके वो हमारा social studies में moral science में class आता है ना,
Yeah.
So somewhere the parental support, somewhere the family support, somewhere you yourself realize, because when you fail in 12th standard, you are 17, 18 years old. So you're on the end of teens.
Yes.
And when the end of teens, you take very weird decisions of your life.
Yes.
You can either make it or break it, right? So I think I was quite grounded in taking the right decision. I said that no problem, exam hi to tha, marks hi to tha. If I don't enjoy maths or science, my life doesn't end there. So of course, my father supported, family supported, and second PUC was a science. I want to be an engineer because my dad is an engineer. So PCME liya tha, physics, chemistry, maths, electronics. Was crazy. Diodes, all that circuit boards and stuff, soldering, gildering stuff. And when you talk about maths, it was all about trigonometry, calculus, sin theta, cos theta, iska theta, bhatinda, and all that stuff. It was like hell. I don't understand all this. I'm a guy who loves stories. I'm a guy who loves sports. So tell me something which I could really pursue. And since I played hockey for state and cricket at some intercity in the college level, so I had that spirit of winning and fighting as a team game and so on and so forth. So I gave another shot, and my father supported and said that take commerce. So BCom mein graduation kar liya maine. And over a period, fast forward 2022, I had that opportunity by one of my professors who invited me to be a guest faculty at a university in Bangalore, and because I jumped from a sales profile job, corporate job, to becoming an entrepreneur, right? So that first guest lecture, coming back to your alma mater and talking about your story as to how entrepreneurship is important and why should you take and what challenges you face. That first lecture gave me the confidence that I can talk, I can relate to the young audience, right? I can relate to the young me, which was way back in 2002 and 3. So that led to the foundation of me going to colleges, visiting different colleges as event judges or visiting faculties or guest lectures, You name it, I'm more than happy to visit college. So I've visited about 7 to 8 colleges in Bangalore, right from universities to business schools. And I had that zip. If I could teach, come on, let me go to my school where I failed, and let me go and say and convince the authority ke, boss, I'm your alma mater. I didn't tell them that I failed. Okay, I told them that I'm your alma mater. Now I've got some other story. I run 2 companies, and I give guest lectures. So am I invited? Can you please invite me? They said, oh, ऐसा होता है कि अगर तुम खुद अपने किसी घर पे जाके बोल रहे हो कि please invite me for lunch. So as a salesman, I knew that, asking is the biggest deal in sale, right? So I never shied away from asking. And that was another story, probably, I'll share with you as to why that asking became a habit. Yeah, and that's the reason that I am able to do what I am doing, and I'm able to do it in a not successful maybe, but more satisfactory way. So
Okay.
then there's no looking back in terms of teaching. So I'm not a full-time faculty. I teach marketing, branding, and sales. So I'm a visiting faculty. I'm a practicing professor. So I don't just go and read out books and PPTs, but I practice what I teach. So more importantly, I also implement those strategies in the best format possible into my 2-3 startups that I parallelly run, with this.
The thing that you talked about, like asking questions, and it stands out like very distinctively. You can kind of pick that out as a personality trait, or maybe just something that good salespeople do, that they make you comfortable with questions. And it's just such a weird fact that you might, when you innately hear this, that questions are like, they're not answers. They're not supposed to make you comfortable, but asking the right questions and making someone feel, okay, that they're able to open up to you. That's also kind of a skill. And it's such an, I don't know if it's could be called a life skill or not, but it's such an handy skill that comes into play in human interaction almost always. So if you're able to connect on to the person at a level that they're also now on the same page with you, and they're able to connect with you and answer those questions and feel comfortable around you, then the dynamic of that human interaction changes completely. I think that's something that's crazy. Such a naive, such a simple thing could impact the human interaction that people have.
Absolutely. See, there are 2 aspects of it. One is the practical asking. Say, for example, hey Ripudaman, can I do a podcast with you? Or you asking me randomly saying that, hey Kumail, I saw your profile. Would you like to come on, a podcast with me? It's just that initial move, right? So I'm sure you would have asked about 100 people, and you would have got about 10 or 20 or less than 20 people would have said yes to you. You get my point? So the probability of asking and receiving what you ask, is less. But I learned this from my father. My father, when I failed my second PUC, I got into a very, very chunnumunu college. Chunnumunu ka matlab very low grade college, not reputed, not low grade, but yeah, you mean to say, I come from, a college which was Jesuit, which was run by convent mentality, very disciplined. And all of a sudden you are in a college, just because you didn't get admission, just because you failed in your PUC and stuff, naam ke liye college
you got an admission. Yes.
Yeah, and I had only 7 to 8 students in that class, and that was the strength of that college. So wo college band ho chuka hai, I was running school as such. It's near my house only. So my father gave me that fear कि boss अगर तू पढ़ेगा नहीं तो तेरी life ऐसी होने वाली है types. तो what you need to do? I said, I want to get into this college. I want to get into St. Joseph's. So क्या करना है तेरे को? I said, do whatever it takes. You pay him money or you pay donations or whatever, get me in there. He said, I'm not going to pay donations. I'm a central government employee. मेरे पास सिर्फ salary आता है. I'm not going to pay donation stuff. You have your credentials. I can give you a rasta. क्या rasta? He said, you have to go and meet the principal. I've already spoken to him. He said, come next year. So next year admission start होता है April May में. So from December onwards, I wanted to go every day and show your face to your father. Father, matlab the principal, the Jesuit ka jo, principal tha, father. So I was like hesitant. He said, promise me that you're going to go every day. Dant milegi, danda milega, gali padegi, but go show your face. And he would take my attendance. My father would take attendance at whether I've gone and shown my face to that real father, that college ka father. So
That's
I had to
crazy.
go and show, and father would, and the principal, Father Daniel, was I still remember his name, Father Daniel Fernandez. He was my principal. He used to get irritated. Okay, boss, why is this fellow coming every day? He said, come next week. Then I would again go next week. Come on Thursday again. He said, no, come in April. Then again I would go in April. Then sorry, no admissions. I said, Father, please, go on my knees. I said, मेरी इज्जत का सवाल है, मेरा life खराब हो जाएगा. Father, please, Father, please. He said, get out. He said, Father, please. Stand outside. Father, please. Literally begged for my admission.
Wow.
And today, that's because I begged. I literally begged. I said, Father, please, this is my life. So, and if you are in Bangalore, you would know that getting admissions St. Joseph's, you need to have 85-90%. Without that, you don't get admissions. That's the one of the most premier commerce college in Bangalore, very, very reputed. And I got that because I pleaded, I begged, and I promised Father that I would, do my best to pass out. And I passed out with 67%. First class to Nikala commerce mein. That was a satisfaction. But that lesson of practicality, mein asking, begging, because you wanted it so badly.
Yeah.
That is important. And the other part of it of asking is ASK, attitude, skills, knowledge. तो ये दो चीजों को अगर आपकी लाइफ में आप इनकलकेट करोगे, and you are disciplined and you keep going because you know that's your end result, I think today or tomorrow, sooner or later, you will definitely achieve your dreams, your success, or whatever you want to call it.
I totally kind of relate to this experience that you've had, and in some sense, because of this like this thing that I've done with the podcast, and asking a lot of people, and having and I so I started this podcast a year ago, sometime around April 2021. And this whole idea of asking people, this makes you very comfortable with rejection also. Like, so you ask a bunch of people, and of course, all of them won't come on your podcast or on your show, or won't reply positively. Some won't even, I guess, get your invitation, won't even get to them. But this gets you very comfortable with, okay, boss, har baar na, that ego that you have, ki yaar maine pucha hai, and now I am owed something from the other person. But that humbles you in such a human sense that now you get comfortable. Now you are happy and grateful for the people that do actually come on the show, and that are actually collaborating with you, or that just gives you a certain set of humbleness and gratitude for the work that you do. I think that's also a sweet element to it. Asking people.
You are absolutely right, Ripu. Because I've got some of my friends who were college toppers, school toppers. But then today when I go and meet them, they are so dejected in life because they have never learned to accept failure. They were always first class chahiye, 90% chahiye, and by chance they don't get their favorite thing. They're very super dejected in life. You get my point? But guys like us who have actually seen the importance of asking and not getting it, or failure, for example. I think this practice we also apply to our personal lives. Say हमको ये खाना गरम नहीं मिला, for example. No problem, चलता है, गुस्सा नहीं आता है. Or maybe I wanted this particular thing to be happening and it didn't happen. Gussa aata hai, you get rejected, but you move on. You don't sulk. Maybe in a relationship also. You ask a girl out and she says no to you. No problem, ask her again. Or try to see how best you could convince her. If not, thousands in line.
Of course. See, that's so true. And ironically, you stop taking yourself so seriously.
Yeah, man. And we are talking on the most serious podcast.
Yeah, like who else do you want to hear this from? The host and a marketing professor saying you that you will stop taking yourself so seriously. Just go out and ask for what you want, and the chances of you getting that are only existent if you start asking.
You should.
So
whoever is listening to us and whoever is seeing us or whatever, ask questions, ask anything that you want to have. Don't keep that in your heart. Just ask. Bahut se bahut kya hoga? There's a very famous sales quote, right? I don't know who said this, but you said, 90% of the sales are lost not because of no, but because they've never been asked.
True.
So the idea is that no milna is fine. At least you have tried. That aspect is very important. So use this sales technique of asking, or a life technique of asking, in every aspect of your life.
Professor, what was this trigger to you having to you getting inspired to for entrepreneurship, or you getting so passionate about businesses or sales, marketing? Was this an event, or bachpan se like you were always on the path to become someone in this field? What do you recollect this to?
I have no clue, man. I get this question as to, were you dreaming of becoming an entrepreneur right from
Yeah.
your childhood days and so on. So, but I think a lot of it is about the culture, right? So I am the first entrepreneur from my family. So I
Okay.
don't have. My father was an engineer, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you hear my surname, my uncle is Syed Kirmani. He played for India. He played cricket for India. He was a wicket keeper in the 1983 World Cup.
No
So
way.
he
No way. You're
so
telling me this
so
right
I'm
now.
just I'm just trying to show off my celebrity status. So so
That's
uh,
crazy.
so 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 one part of my family is into sports. Dad was into education. Mom was a housewife. My grandfather, my mummy, my nana, my mom's father,
Mm-hmm.
was a retired government servant, but he opened up a pan ki dukan, pan shop, the normal,
Yes.
a very humble.
Mm-hmm.
Our summer holidays, we used to go to Aurangabad, Maharashtra.
Okay.
Pe. I used to go and sit in his pan ki theki, and I was a kid, so I used to love giving the chain and giving pan, and taking that money transaction. So and my mama, my mom's
Mm.
younger brother, had a
Yeah.
Xerox shop, Xerox ka dukan,
Okay.
in the RTO. So Xerox karna, usko change dena, paise counter pe baithna and tokens
Mm.
dena. So as a school kid, I loved sitting on the table and interacting with that money exchange. So maybe thoda
Mm.
कीड़ा वहां से आया है कि I have to deal with people and
Yeah.
start business. So my mom was a housewife, so she was doing some part time kapdon ka business. Go and get it from the wholesale market, sell it to her family and friends.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have a business mindset, but since my dad gave me education, since I've been blessed, to go to school, college, we are in the top 20% of Indian population which got access to English education, right? So we
Mm.
need to be very very thankful, grateful for this kind of a platform, right?
Yeah.
हर किसी को नहीं मिलता, talent दुनिया में बहुत है, but I think because एक normal language हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं, that goes to our family's struggle for giving us this opportunity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course the skills that you build up on. So I think that all these things put together gave me that kida ke I want to do something in my life.
Mm.
Yeah, and the another trigger is that when I started working after my graduation, I started working with pretty good companies. I work with GE Money, an
Mm.
international US based company, into financial services. So my first job was about selling credit cards, personal loans, casa
Yeah.
accounts,
Yeah.
वगैरह.
Yeah.
Then I went to HDFC. HDFC was all about, insurance, personal loan, foreign exchange. Then I went into some other bank. Then I went into insurance. Then I went to SIM card. Then I went to Tommy Hilfiger as a salesman. So I saw my seniors. I saw my teammates. They all had education. They all had MBAs. They all had stuff, but they lacked vision.
Mm.
You get my point? And I would be inspired by how are these people, the guys who roam around bigger cars and bigger houses are people who are uneducated. They
Mm.
do business, but the educated ones are traveling in BTS buses and autos and two
Yeah.
wheelers.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
is this?
Yeah.
So जब वो दिमाग थोड़ा बहुत चलने लगा से, अरे यार पैसा तो बिजनेस में ही है.
Mm.
अभी आपको बिजनेस करना है, तो आई वर्क फॉर अबाउट 17 years is a very big time when you work in a corporate. So I don't maybe look that old, but right from my age of 18, 19 I started working.
Mm.
So I used to do my part-time jobs and stuff because I failed in my PUC, I told you, no, so I had to do something to get my pocket money. So events, credit cards, based and stuff. So that is the entire, probably, the summary of what are the different elements that led me to start off my own company. So
Mm. No, you don't. You don't look the age, and you've blown me away with the fact that Syed Kirmani is related to you. But see, this is so interesting. Like you just mentioned that the fact that we see this around ourselves like a lot. That people getting formal educations, great formal educations, going to good colleges, and not even let's just say 80% of them who are getting a good education, they're not able to
Yeah.
match that top 20 top 10% of people who didn't get something as formal as an academic, but they're running these businesses and they're getting crazy amounts of amassing crazy amounts of wealth, and they just have that sense of okay, I have these 10 mbas working for me, but the final decision or the final say that I need to do, or how to lead these people, that someone with not a formal education can do. And how does that come to them, we don't know. But once you realize this fact that everything is not just limited to the so called marks, or and this has nothing to shit on the academic institutions or the whole education system. I know everything could be optimized for better, but we can always see this fact around us. And you rightly mentioned that once you kind of observe this for yourself, then it turns on a switch in your mind that why exactly is this happening. This was not taught to us. It was always कि यार पढ़ाई करो, get good grades, and then that's your ticket to a good life, that's your ticket to your dream life. But actually in the real world, does that happen? Maybe for some it does, but is that true for everyone? Not so much. I think you have to kind of go inside yourself and look for whether you have that like you had that relationship with money or business early on. And if you would have suppressed that and went on saying yeah nahi, I will just focus on good grades academics, and then I will get on a corporate and I'll retire and I'll die, whatever. So you wouldn't have allowed that curiosity, allowed that sense of entrepreneurship to come out. And that is
You
something that people struggle with. How do you think that, like, is there are there some things that you thought you were insecure about, and you can maybe assure people that yaar theek hai, start karne mein it's overwhelming, but how your journey could help someone?
uh, you have put this in a very very nice way, Ripu. See, try and understand that generation of our parents, of our grandparents, was totally different than our generation, right?
Yes.
So our grandparents were under the British ka Raj, and only
Mm-hmm.
few, they had only two options: either do agriculture, or the ones who have some education will get into government jobs.
Yeah.
Okay. And then our parents who could probably think of going to a college. You get my point? Or either become an engineer or a doctor. You get my point?
Yes. Yes.
And that history goes on into the blood. Agar doctor ka beta doctor banega, lawyer ka beta lawyer banega, engineer ka beta engineer banega, that goes on into the family of the tradition ke boss. So it's easy access because you've got immediate role models.
Yes.
So guys like us, I don't know about what you are, but considering my aspect of it, I wanted to be an engineer like my father, but somewhere at the age of 17, 18, I failed and I didn't want to be an engineer. So I was confused. So a lot of people go through this confusion. In today's era, where guys at the age of 10 and 12 are opening their YouTube channels and earning money. Small kids are earning money,
Yes.
right? So today the days are gone when you had to become a doctor, go to a college for 5-6 years, slog your A out, and become something that you wanted to be. Unless today you ask a lot of engineers कि बस तुमको engineering क्यों करनी है, तुमको MBA क्यों करना है, half of them are like job मिलने के लिए, job मिलने के लिए, job मिलने के लिए, job मिलने के लिए.
Very true.
अरे बाबा, तुमको जॉब मिलने के लिए इंजीनियर की जरूरत नहीं है. इंजीनियरिंग सीखो तो तुमको जॉब ऑटोमेटिकली, इट्स लाइक अ मैग्नेट. You know to repair a laptop, you don't need an engineering. You see half the mechanics on the road.
Yeah.
Small kids, they open up the bike and they'll fix it back even better than the guys who work in the company, man.
True.
You go to a mobile store or a laptop store, repair wala. Company wala will also have that guy who is only an ITI passed guy. He not have an engineer from IIT repairing your laptops.
Sure.
You get my point?
Yeah.
So somewhere you need to understand कि आपको लाइफ से और एजुकेशन से क्या चाहिए, आप उससे अच्छा चीज लो और इम्प्लीमेंट करो. The biggest of companies are selling toothpaste, namak, essentials. You see Reliance, they are selling groceries. You see Tata, they're selling salt se leke tea powder se leke everything. you please try and understand how the 70% of the businesses are focused on retail businesses. Kapda, for example. You get my point? So if you, I'm not talking about B2B, I'm not talking about export import, I'm not talking about big industry, I'm talking about
just retail.
Basic stuff.
Yeah.
You get my point? So धंधा करना इज वेरी वेरी, यू नो व्हाट डज, फ्लिपकार्ट में बैठ के लोग क्या करते हैं, इंजीनियर्स है, आईआईटी के फंडिंग मिला है, क्या कर रहे हैं, एक टेक्नोलॉजी बनाया, एक प्लेटफॉर्म बनाया ताकि लोग यू नो जो मेले में जाके खरीदते थे वो ऑनलाइन मेला बना दिया उन्होंने, उनको बोल दिया कि ई कॉमर्स,
राइट।
तो 4 लोग आओ, कपड़ा बेचो, जूता बेचो, जो भी बेचना है बेचो, तुम कमीशन लो, कमीशन कर रहे, तो कमीशन एजेंट बन गया हो।
राइट,
अभी पुराने जमाने में यू गॉट रियल एस्टेट एजेंट्स क्या करते थे, ये घर खाली है, चलो बॉस मेरे को लीड मिल गया, तो ये घर का मिलाकर हमको कमीशन मिल जाता था। What is Magic Bricks doing? What is 99 Acres doing? they are a platform, they use that internet as a base and they're selling the same thing, right?
Yes.
So something similar. Please try and understand that business is all about consumers. People to people. आपका वो अगर दिमाग में आ गया तो आपको ये ट्रैक पकड़ना है, तो आप टेक्नोलॉजी हासिल करो, टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ करो और ट्रेंड्स के साथ अपडेट रहो। टुडे एवरीथिंग इज पॉसिबल इफ यू हैव एन इंटरनेट, इफ यू हैव अ फोन इन योर हैंड। आपको कुछ चीज की जरूरत भी नहीं है। So long story short, I think everybody is heading towards becoming an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Even company wants people who can take decisions.
Right.
They don't want problem creators, they want problem solvers. So aapko ye college, if young kids are watching this in college, so they should understand that they need to think like an entrepreneur. They need to probably look up to guys like Kunal Shah, or you need to look at people who Ritesh Agarwal, you need to look at MBA Chaiwala, you need to look at people. I'm talking about Indian mindset, right? So of course you can talk about Gary Vee or Elon Musk, but look at people around you.
Yeah.
What they have done and what they have created. So I think everybody has a market, everybody has a business opportunity. It's just that you need to keep hitting the right nail at the right wall.
What do you think about this this whole space of edtech? Because like you're certainly in the education sector, and you're a practicing professor, and that's something that I guess most teachers or professors, if they apply, they become more fun. I guess that's something that Professor Kumail teaches us. But what's your view on this space of let's say moving forward 10 years down the line? Do you still see formal education or colleges, schools, academic institutions still having the same amount of value that they hold in today's scenario, or does online courses or does online consulting change it completely?
When you actually look at how we are interacting, right? Yeah. So whatever you are doing and whatever I am doing has not been taught to me or you in school or college. The podcast that you're running is your inspiration because you have seen somebody else run podcasts. You have been following other people who feel that this is going to be my right bread and butter scope, right? Yeah. So you have not learned this in school and college. No. So you have created this business model for yourself. Same thing. Like I mentioned the examples of how real estate guys are now becoming 99 acres or whatever Magic Bricks, and the kirana shops are now becoming Amazon agents, or food guys are becoming food tech into Zomatos. So education also tomorrow, a guy who gives 10th standard 12th standard ka students ka tuitions for NIT or NEET or class 12 science maths is now Byju's.
Right.
You get my point? Today like I also run courses, I also teach online, I also give courses or train people on entrepreneurship and so on and so forth with general public. I also teach at schools. What is happening with that model of school is it's restricted to certain books.
Yeah.
If you watch NAS Academy is about Ritesh Agarwal to teach you how to become an entrepreneur. तो आप एक नॉर्मल चुन्नू कॉलेज या रेप्यूटेड कॉलेज को भी जाकर आप 2 साल वेस्ट नहीं करोगे सीखने के लिए कि बॉस मुझे एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना है तो आई विल गेट एन एमबीए इन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप। वो जमाना नहीं रहेगा। यू विल पे 2000 रुपीज and sign up with Nas Daily and learn entrepreneurship from the best of entrepreneur who's set up Oyo. You get my point? So अभी आपको podcast करना है, तो you will find out who's the best podcaster of your time. You will say was the most serious podcaster. Ripu Daman ने course launch किया, how to create your own podcast. I will learn from Ripu if I want to follow Ripu.
Right.
मैंने home kitchen start किया है, तो if I am successful, people will follow me. They will not go to some college to hotel management कर वो अपना kitchen नहीं खोलेंगे. They want to learn from the practitioners.
Yeah.
Or by the way, if I just give you a little simple example as to how this MBA came into picture, people have done something, and the guys who studied what has been done, they wrote theories and presented to people, and they started selling it.
Okay. Yeah.
समझ में आ गया ना? तो अभी समझो मैं प्रोफेसर हूँ, मुझे एक थीसिस लिखना है, मुझे बुक करना है, तो I'll say how do you run podcast? तो मैं रिपु दामन का वो करूंगा, रणवीर अलाहाबादिया से ले लूंगा हिस्ट्री, and I will take some of the top podcasters of the world. एक प्रोसेस बना दूंगा और उसको MBA के बुक में छाप के बोलूंगा बस पॉडकास्ट बनने के लिए तो आपको ये काम करना है. And I'm good at marketing and selling, तो मैं ये बेच के लोगों को create कर दूंगा अपना market. So technically, please try and understand the case studies in textbooks, not because people read case studies and then went and implemented. Mistakes happened, successes happened. Ford set up something, and colleges took example from Ford ka machinery, or how that operation, or how that industry, or how that setup of his what do you call that, कुछ बोलते यार, फोर्ड, हेनरी फोर्ड ने जो सेटअप किया था ना एक प्रोसेस, जिसकी वजह से उसने कार की स्पीड ऑफ प्रोसेस किया था.
अच्छा हाँ, yes, and they have a term for that. Yeah.
So I'm may could be near as a professor, I've forgotten it. Or case study about how Starbucks became world famous, or case study about how McDonald's became a number one fast food selling brand or whatever. तो ये आपको कॉलेज में जाके पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं, आपको YouTube पे हजारों वीडियोस मिल जाएंगे आज के रोज.
Yes.
You get my point? So the education system is going to be, tomorrow the top colleges will again retain the top spot. Like the IIMs, they'll be more practical oriented. They have value like Harvard, Oxford. वो cream रहेगा, 10% लोग वहां पे जाएंगे. Remaining people will either drop out, or they will adapt to YouTube, or they'll adapt to people who they follow, whom they worship. So tomorrow I don't see people learning cricket from Sachin Tendulkar, by watching his videos. They will go to his academy, because now Mahendra Singh Dhoni has launched his academy online.
Yeah.
So that's the way. That's the way world is going to head towards, is what I foresee.
MBAs are the fashionable sense of, I just got this feeling when you were talking about how MBAs are processed, and the case studies that happened in this world. So it's just a well marketed history. It's it's people who were smart enough to take out nuggets of things that happened with businesses, combined them, and they were good marketeers. Now they were the students of Professor Kumail Kirmani or not, I don't know, but they were good marketeers.
No, but so if you look at any product or any war or any history, it's all about how beautifully a value proposition is conveyed. So war happened. Why? Because one value proposition didn't match with somebody else's value proposition, and then it led to war. It led to agreement, and led to war. Right?
Yeah.
So from the time when human beings existed, the supremacy of a human being was, मेरे पास कितना बड़ा आर्मी है, कितनी बड़ी land value है, मेरे पास मेरा I could only, the richness of a person would be on कितना बड़ा kingdom है मेरा, है ना? तो आज एलॉन मस्क एक कमरे में बैठ के ट्वीट करते रहता है कि मैं ये करूंगा, मैं वो करूंगा, ये डॉज कॉइन को गिरा दूंगा, ये बिटकॉइन को उठा दूंगा. That one guy is able to control millions of people's emotions and predictions about how the wealth or stock market can work. So same thing happens in an MBA concept. I'm not saying MBAs are wrong. I'm not saying MBAs are not useful. I'm trying to tell you that the concept of MBA, like for example, let me tell you the 4 P's of marketing. Okay, simple. तो
Sure.
ये प्रोडक्ट प्राइस प्लेस प्रमोशन ले लिया वो लोगों ने। तो ये जो जो एमबीए के बुक में ये 4 P's लिखा है, इट कुड बी कोटलर और इट कुड बी फिलिप और इट कुड बी whoever the godfathers of management or godfathers of marketing were, they identified के बॉस ये 10 लोगों ने इनको ऐसे ऐसे किया है, तो इनको हम लोग हजारों लोगों को सिखा सकते हैं। Probably the one thing good that these people did is that what 10 people did, let us teach the same 10 people की जो success stories है, let us document it and teach this to millions of people. Maybe out of the millions, maybe thousands will replicate that model and become successful. So I'm not denying the fact that MBA has not produced great results, but the quality of MBA in India is so pathetic. There are 6,000 MBA colleges in India.
Okay.
6,000 recognized.
Okay.
Unrecognized are double. The recent report, if you go to any college, even the tier 2 college, which an MBA degree will cost him about 2.5 to 3 lakhs. भैया उसको समझ में नहीं आता MBA is for business people, MBA is for people who got some work experience, MBA is for people who manage people. फ्रेश ग्रेजुएट को MBA सिखाकर तुम क्या करोगे? और इंडिया में इतना बड़ा सोसाइटल प्रेशर है ना कि MBA के लेवल के नीचे तो वैल्यू नहीं है मार्केट में।
राइट।
शादी नहीं करेगा, दहेज नहीं मिलेगा, कोई लड़की नहीं देगा तुमको। तो mentality is that. So even if you quit your studies and want to start up your own company, people look down upon you. Even today, maybe the world is changing. So with that, I think over a period, people will understand the real value of MBA is about teaching you how to manage people. Management. It's not about anything else, but it runs on two things, 2 P's. Process, people.
That's a good summation of an MBA. That's something. And coming back to the thing that you just said, you said previously about that in the future, most people are going to view entrepreneurship as something, and in some bounds, they would actually become entrepreneurs, right? So everyone having a story, everyone having the opportunity with the means of just an internet connection or a smartphone or a laptop, that allows them to become entrepreneurs in today's day and age. So how does that transcend into of course, we have successful entrepreneurs, we have also unsuccessful entrepreneurs, we have failures and we have successes all around in every domain. But when it comes to businesses and entrepreneurship, and you certainly are an expert on this subject, so how does this transcend into personal branding? How do people identify that, okay, this is me, this is my identity? How can I build upon this and also quantify myself as a personal brand? I can see myself being called as a brand. I have this identity and people associate me with this. So how does that actually work for people, or how would you advise them to go about it?
So in 2022, right, it's the era where we are talking to people face to face. We follow people on Instagram, we follow people on Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever. So there is a face, next to that name. Like रिपु दामन के बाजू में उनका लोगो है और उनका फेस है। तो प्रोफेसर कुमाइल किरमानी का लोगो भी है और उनका फेस भी है, राइट? The idea is how do you capitalize on this? So दुनिया में ऐसे सबसे ज्यादा अच्छे क्रिकेटर्स हैं who can be better cricketers than धोनी और कोहली और तेंदुलकर. It is just that they didn't get the right opportunity or right timing नहीं मिला उनको, right? Say for example, there is a very very close dear friend of mine. He started off something called as a flying barber.
Okay.
Way back in 2016-17 की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं.
Okay.
उसका business concept आप समझो कि he's a Bangalorean, I know him very well. He said that barber is a very क्या बोलते हैं, very difficult thing to find the right barber. So time नहीं है तो either I'll send it to your office or I'll send that person barber to your house. So flying barber का concept शुरू किया था and it failed. Why? Because the logistics and so on and so forth. 2020 लॉकडाउन में अर्बन क्लैब और अर्बन
Urban
कंपनी
clap.
जिसे आज कहते
Yeah.
हैं, दे सेड दैट बॉस हम हजाम को आपके घर पे भेजते हैं बाल काटने के लिए, नाई को, व्हाटएवर यू कॉल इट. So he was ahead of the times.
Yeah.
You get my point? He was ahead of the time, my friend. Today he's a very successful stand-up comedian and doing shows across multiple stuff. And so he continued, he pursued the zeal of creating companies. 10 failed, 11 will get successful. मेरी भी जो company अभी मैं चला रहा हूँ, this is my 6th company. I busted 4. I busted 4, but I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't want to quit and get into jobs. Right. I don't know if you can go to my LinkedIn page and see my post. There is one post of mine which became very viral.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I've seen that my journey of 2014 say.
Yes.
So I never thought that that will give me some push on my LinkedIn. I would get some people and connection and business contacts. You get my point. But that story I had to tell it to people. Had I kept it in my own self and said that कि बस हो गया मेरा life ऐसा है, it was nothing great. I think thousands of more people are going through worse than my situation. But मैंने express किया, expression की वजह से मुझे business contacts मिले, मुझे network बड़ा मिला मुझे, तो I got more opportunities on that. So you never know where things will lead you to.
Right.
So today after that successful or unsuccessful stint of my failures, I would like to again, use this platform to tell you that I run a home kitchen, a concept kitchen in my house with my wife. It's called the Begum's Authentic Hyderabadi Kitchen. We are a one dish, one day Sunday concept.
Okay.
And today we are recognized as one of the top 60 icons of Bharat by NDTV.
Wow.
So we have been recognized as game changers in entrepreneurship of doing business because the concept is new.
Yeah.
So we have been recognized by NDTV, and I want to use this platform to tell you that this is going to go live this Sunday on the 12th of June. So if you are there, please do watch it. And it's a story of 60 different people across India. कोई farming कर रहा है, कोई honey bee farming कर रहा है, कोई कपड़े बेच रहा है, कोई ब्यूटिशियन है, कोई स्कूल चला रहा है in a different way, कोई फ्री में एजुकेशन कर रहा है. So there are different stories from grassroots level. We only honor people who get IPOs and who get funding, and companies like Swiggy, Zomato are going under losses but still considered to be unicorns.
Yes.
उनका वैल्यूएशन उतना बड़ा है, बट धंधे का मतलब for you and I, a normal person is बस मुझे 10 रुपया स्पेंड किया, 12, 13, 15 रुपया आ रहा है कि नहीं.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah. And see, and I have a hard time explaining this. See, and this also proves this point. So sometimes I don't know. I don't remember this exactly, but I was discussing this either with my mom or someone that how these businesses are loss making and they still are getting funded more and more. So they just don't for the life of them are able to understand ki how are people still funding a business that is not making any actual money. So I try to understand ki they're doing customer acquisition, either habit forming, or future mein they're betting ki future mein this will be so useful for people ki they won't be able to order anything apart from Zomato or Swiggy or any things like that. But for the core Indians, they can't understand ki how do I sell something on 5 rupees after spending 10 and do that continuously for years and call it a profit or call it a business even. So that's somewhere I think you connect with all the people who are trying this household entrepreneurship, things like that.
So if you go deeper into how the stock market works, it's about that everywhere there's that cream that 1% of the people will make money off that लाखों करोड़ों लोग का इन्वेस्टमेंट मनी.
Yes.
तो ये जो इन्वेस्टमेंट मनी आ रहा है, so the founders and the top investors are very clear. उनको कस्टमर भाड़ में गया, उनको अपना पैसा वापस आना चाहिए. Very simple economics. So they know कि बस 2 साल तक इन्वेस्ट करूंगा, 2 साल में मेरे को इतना लाके दे रहे हो कि नहीं. So उनको वो पैसा जाएगा, वो टैक्स नहीं भरेगा, वो लॉस में दिखाएगा, बिकॉज उनको इन्वेस्टर्स को मंथली देना है ना. तो वो पैसा कहां से आएगा? तुम्हारा रोटेशन ऑपरेशन कॉस्ट में आएगा. So investors will get the money, owners, co-founders will get their salary on time. They'll get crores of rupees, but you will show losses. Why? Because you don't have to pay taxes. on losses. You get
Oh,
my point?
okay.
The entire funda is that was ये 10 साल का गेम खेलो, उसके बाद कंपनी को बेच दो या कंपनी को एक्वायर कर लो या कस्टमर को सी बना दो, whatever it is.
Hmm.
But long story short, a common sense person says कि बॉस मेरा 10 रुपए का माल है, मेरे को 12 रुपए में बेचना है, 13 रुपए में बेचना है, 3 रुपए का मार्जिन है, मैं 3 रुपए में खुश रहूंगा.
Hmm.
अभी
Yes.
बीच में कस्टमर उल्लू बन रहा है या मीडिएटर उल्लू बन रहा है या डिलीवरी बॉय उल्लू बन रहा है, वो भगवान जाने. बट ये चक्रव्यूह में किसी ना किसी का तो फायदा हो रहा है. आई मीन लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर गेटिंग बेनिफिट आल्सो, दे गेटिंग
Hmm.
लेजी, बट इट इज आल्सो डिस्ट्रॉइंग the long term business models of many small time traders.
Hmm. That makes sense.
So
That does actually
over
make
a
sense.
period, let's see how things goes.
See, this has been everything and more that I wanted this conversation to be, Professor Kumail. And I just hope that still, like, I was lucky enough to have some teachers who I admire and who I learned a lot from. But actually having this kind of connect with people who are still in the academia field, or even just like you're not even completely full time teaching, but still you are associated in some senses to the education space. But having this kind of natural connect with people who are certainly older or who are into the education space would help a lot. That's why previously also I was like, of this favor that you should come off and you should try to speak your natural thoughts in a podcast, or in some you're doing YouTube, and I see your content there. And these kind of things, they allow people to more get that access to their individual creators, as you previously mentioned. So 10 years down the line, now if someone wants to learn marketing, branding, or whatever, so they can see here. And this doesn't necessarily have to do with success of individuals. Of course, it is a factor. But let's say someone is able to understand something from you much, much better than they are from XYZ person. And they might be more at it in their game than you. But the basics, the fundamentals of this person, they get that from you. So they having that resource of, okay, I have got the video set, I have got this podcast, I have got these resources from Professor Kumail, and I connect with him. His education kind of impacts me in a manner that none other does. So that gives them the chance and that window, in the future to go about and do things like you did, like, do things that sometimes that door shut for you in grade 12th, and we wouldn't have been having this conversation if you pass that exam.
Could be, man. Could be. Absolutely. You're so true. Had I passed, yeah, probably my life would have been totally different. So sometimes you need to believe in destiny.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to think back and say कि बॉस इसने मुझे धोखा क्यों दिया. अपने से धोखा देते तो मैं बैठ के अपना हाथ काट लूंगा, मेरी लाइफ खराब कर दूंगा. अरे यार धोखा दे दिया because there is something better for you. अरे ये पॉडकास्ट रिपु दामन के साथ मेरा आज first 1 hour we had difficulties in voice keys and all that stuff. But I think there's some good reason, maybe this flow of conversation would have been different if everything was already in the first go.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there is always a flip side, two sides of the coin. How you take it, you are a better judge. So human beings are blessed with a gift called as choice. Animals are not being gifted by choice. You have been gifted by intellect to think what is good for you, what is bad for you. If you want to consume it, use it to the maximum potential of it, good for you. Use it to the maximum disbenefit or whatever the opposite word of benefit is or harmfulness of it, it's up to you. So if you are consuming content, like for example, a lot of people spend a lot of time on reels and they use a lot of thumb exercise. So if they don't follow your follow or unfollow ka jo game hai, if they don't follow the right people, I feel that if you follow 10 people for first week, consume their content and remove. You don't have to follow 10,000 people. Follow 10 people, consume their content, see who's good for you, and follow similar people. 10 per week. You use a formula of 10 per week. You follow 10 YouTubers. You consume their content, delete them. If you like them, follow for long. Don't like them, reduce it. But don't keep subscribing and don't keep following people just for the heck of it, because that your feed keeps confusing you with so much of content that you will be tempted to see unwanted things.
Yeah, it's just like getting your mind distorted in so many directions, because like your feed is pulling you in one direction, and ultimately our minds have now been transcended in some sense to our feeds, our YouTube feeds, our Instagram feeds. So that's a reflection of what actually goes up here. If people agree with this or not, but you will have to agree at some point, because you're seeing only what you are subscribing to. In some senses, you're spending your time on a certain reel, you're spending your time on a certain shot, and that tells the algorithm that you want more of this, and that's a reflection of what's going up in here. So actually you can rewire that. You can rewire that whole thing. You can tell ki I want to follow this, I want to see this, and then it kind of results in the content that you're seeing that is actually fruitful, worthful for you. That's perfect. That's
Bingo.
what Professor Kumail Kirmani hits the nail on the head. And I enjoyed a lot talking to you, man. And I certainly hope that you continue making this whole content journey huge part of you. And I'm looking forward to everything that you do. And super, super congratulations to you and your wife for that NDTV recognition.
Yes, been a hard work, and thank you so much for your love wishes. I hope we add value. We create more of entrepreneurs. We create more jobs to people who can't become entrepreneurs. Today it's beyond education. So you don't need to learn English to earn your living on Amazon or on Flipkart. If you want to sell or buy something, it's available in your mother tongue. So be good at your mother tongue, at least learn some skill. And life is big, man. Life is beautiful. Enjoy it, and keep failing, keep enjoying, keep learning, and keep smiling. And don't be serious apart from the serious podcast.
Don't be so serious, man. Don't take yourself so seriously. That's just the crux of it. Why do you want to live a life so serious?
I'm totally thrilled that we made this happen today. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share my experience, emotions, and learnings with you and whoever is going to get benefit out of this. And Ripu Daman is doing some really, really great job. Subscribe to his channel, follow him for more information. And you are what, less than 25 years of age? You don't look beyond 25.
21 and a half.
See. So at the age of 21, if you have that confidence to talk to, people, get the questions, get the answers to the questions that you have in your mind, is a great skill. So if you're doing this 21 years में आप कर रहे हो, मैं 36 years में आपसे बात कर रहा हूँ. तो when we are talking about the race of success, I might take 5 more years to achieve something, and you might get 3x that benefit to before you achieve that 5 years of your life. Because your mind is not as rotten or as crushed as a 35-36-year-old admi ka hota hai. Because we are bogged down by family pressure, commitments, bills, EMIs. Unlike a 21-year-old guy who doesn't have an EMI, unless you spends yourself into that. But all said and done, it's been great. So guys like you will definitely make our country proud, make your family proud, and you're doing an amazing job. I wish you all the best, and I hope that we meet in person someday. Of course. That's anything else from my end, let me know. I'm more than happy to talk to you further on any other occasions.
Yes,
we will connect shortly.
Thank you so much, Professor Kumail. It has been truly a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Ripu. You're doing great. Catch up with you shortly. Thank you so much for all the viewers for giving us your time in listening and watching us, of course. See you soon. Have a great day, night, whatever time you're watching.